guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a while. I haven't uploaded in 3 weeks, which is insane. Life has been a little crazy. Life has been a little chaotic. I also haven't been reading that many books. I've been kind of in a reading slump. You'll see. That's just a disclaimer. I'm back from the dead. I'm going to be doing what I read in May and also my June TBR for this month. Because I didn't read as many books in May, I kind of want to combine a June TBR with my May reads. Let's get started on what I read in May. First book that I read this month was Her Soul for Revenge by Harley LaRue. This is the second book in the Souls trilogy. As we know, I absolutely love Harley LaRue. I rave about this author all the time. They are my favorite dark romance author ever. When this got republished, I immediately went to the store and picked it up and I was like, I have to read it. And I did, and I really enjoyed this. This is like a 4.5 star. Really amazing. I loved both of the characters in this story. One thing that lacked for me is that for the plot purposes, we are keeping the same timeline as the first book, but that can get a little repetitive, especially if we're doing it in all 3 books, but I'm not complaining. I mean, it was really fun to read from different perspectives, and I really enjoyed these characters. I thought they were really fun and had really good banter. Just loved the female main character of the story so much. Had the best connection. The trust that they had in one another, like you can see the trust and you can see how they supported one another, because she is going into this for revenge and he also is like helping her with the revenge. If you're looking for a dark romance, this is it. Check your trigger warnings, but this is good. Then I read The Heir by Sophie Lark. This is the first book in the continuation of the Brutal Birthright series, the Kingmaker series. It follows the children from the Brutal Birthright series. This was a really fun read. I really loved the atmosphere, so I feel like I would give it like a 3.75, 4 stars. The atmosphere of boarding school and knowing the families and knowing the sort of dynamics we have in the families. I didn't love the characters so much. I didn't really like the male main character a lot of the time, but I did like that we got 3 point of views. So we get Sebastian's point of view, who's the male main character. We get the female main character's point of view. Also get a third point of view from Dean, who is their cousin. Not their cousin, but Sebastian's cousin / rivals. But he does eventually get his own book, which I'm really excited to see if I'm going to end up like liking him. I mean, I don't despise him, but like obviously he's not my favorite because he has done some crazy things. Now that I'm thinking about it, he did do something really gross. So I actually don't like him a lot. The 2 characters were very cute in their relationship because this is like a friends to lovers. If you have read the Brutal Birthright series or if you're wanting to read more of Sophie Lark, I would recommend this book and this series. I'm excited to continue the series. This is a mafia book, so be prepared for that. I think I read one of my favorite books of all time next. I read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Now, if you have watched a lot of my videos, you know I have mixed feelings about Abby Jimenez. I loved the first book I read by her, and then I DNF'd the second book. This one was a 5 star. I can't believe I was even debating purchasing this now having read the book and how amazing it is. Genuinely one of my favorite romances standalone. Like, it is kind of interconnected with other books, but like not really, like kind of not really. This is the book. Like, I have so many, and I know a lot of you are gonna hate this, but I have so many pages dog-eared because I didn't have a highlighter on me when I was reading it, and I was like, I'm going to have a freaking freak out. I need to remember this scene. The male main character is the most caring man I have ever read about in a book, and I'm not exaggerating. I know I'm very dramatic, but this is not an exaggeration. He is perfect in every single way. There is nothing wrong with him. He is just divine. If you have deeper aspects and like journeys that each character is going on and how it like affects the relationship and how they mature and grow, I love it. I love to see it. I just love that, because I love seeing characters grow on their own and realize what is important to them and what they want to prioritize and how they want to mature in life. And the fact that this book has so much of it is amazing. The female main character, her backstory is honestly heartbreaking, and how she like discovers how that truly makes her feel and trying to get over her attachment to certain people. It's really tragic. And then his backstory with his entire family and how he has to take responsibility of a lot of things and how that's going to affect his own life. He's having to deal with sort of losing his own path of life because of other people's decisions. Watching them form this cute relationship, and it starts out in the cutest way. It starts out with them online, and both of them sort of think they have this curse where they date someone and then the next person that person dates is their soulmate. So then they're like, hey, why don't we date and see if when we split up, we'll find our soulmate. Their banter is so amazing. Even the tiniest things that he does for her, it's just like so adorable and so thoughtful, because when you take into perspective another key character in the story who is supposed to be caring about Emma so much, like literally is supposed to be their number one supporter, like number one person to fall back on. The way that he shows and does things that that person doesn't even think about, like doesn't even, it's just like he is so thoughtful. And also the way he treats Emma's best friend, Maddie, okay, just shows how like respectful he is and how much he truly cares about Emma to invite her best friend. It's everything I've ever wanted in a book. I could talk about this for years, like a need to read this summer. Need to read, okay? You guys need to read it. The next book I read was a new release of the month, which I'm super excited that I read. King of Sloth by Anna Huang. This is in a video more my deeper thoughts, so I don't really want to say too much. I haven't really settled on a rating yet. Do I think it's entertaining? Yes. Do I think it's fun to read? Absolutely. And I really like the characters and I like Anna Huang's writing, but I'm not like in love with Anna Huang's series. She is this guy's publicist, and it's a relationship between her and her client. She sort of has a bad boy image. He's sort of like seen as a little immature, sort of go from like kind of not liking each other as client and publicist. I enjoyed it, but like it just wasn't my favorite. So I think I would like settle on a 3.25 or a 3.5. Not like something I think about ever. I really never think about this series besides King of Wrath. I feel like that's just the one book that I think about a lot. But as I say with every single Anna Huang book, the next one might be the one for me. The male main character of the next book story was the most intriguing of this book. Powerful by Lauren Roberts. This is the novella to Powerless. Powerless is a 5-star read for me. It is my favorite fantasy. It is the best. This book is also a 5 stars. Both books in the series have been a 5 stars. I don't know what else to say to you, and I don't know how else to convince you to read this series. It has quite literally changed my life for the better. This book I'm not going to say too much on because I have my reactions in another video coming up. This book made me bawl like a baby. And when I say that, I am not being dramatic. This one ruined my day. Ruined my day because I was profusely sobbing. I could not get myself together. The ending was insane, cruel, and disrespectful. And the characters of this story, like I have so much dog-eared in this story because of how much it means to me and how much I love these characters. I had to stare at a wall and be like, okay, so I am actually going to continue sobbing. So if you want a book that'll make you feel like that, this is it, but you have to read Powerless before you read this one. Now we're gonna quickly move on to my very ambitious June TBR. I looked at my bookshelf, and if any book intrigued me, I put it on this TBR, so I don't really know if I'm going to get to all these. I know I'm not going to get to all these, but I'm very hopeful. I just want to get these out of the way because you guys are going to be annoyed by me. I do want to reread The Dare and Losers Part 2. I reread and annotated Losers Part 1, and I had so much fun that I want to reread this entire series. I have these on there. This will probably be on my TBR every single month. Just expect them. Those are the first two on my TBR. I just want to get those really fast because I talk about them a lot. Next one is another very ambitious one. I want to read Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I kind of want to have this book as my sort of like morning book or my night book where I like read a chapter or two each night or read a chapter or two each morning. I think the morning one would be really beneficial to me. I want to finish this by the end of the month. I just feel like I need to read this. I feel like I'm in the perfect spot of life to read this. This one's very ambitious for me because this is not my typical read, obviously. Everyone yell at me to read it. Next, I have last part of a series, the last 2 books of the Gold Rush Ranch series by Elsie Silver. So I have The Front Runner and A False Start. They are both on Kindle Unlimited, so when I go on my trips, these are very easily accessible to me. They're very fast reads and very quick, and I know I love Elsie Silver's writing. So I feel like these are just like books that if I'm like feeling like I'm getting back into a slump, I can just read these, bang them out, and have a good time. I don't really know what this one's about, but I know that this one is best friend's little sister. So I'm super excited about this one. A lot of people say the man in this book is so good. Next, we have a continuation to a series I started in May. It is The Rebel by Sophie Lark. This is the second book in the Kingmaker series. This follows Callum and Ada's son, and also a girl who is in an arranged marriage to another very powerful like mafia family. It's gonna be very interesting. This one's gonna have all the drama, I think. I feel like it's just gonna be a really fun, like juicy story. I love Sophie Lark's books because they're just really crazy and fun to read. Only I Had Told Her by Laura Nolan. This is the second book to If He Had Been With Me. I have heard so many people just like talk about this book when it was released and like have so many emotions for it. And I just feel like I need to be in the right space to read it, so I'm adding it to June, kind of wishy-washy. I'm very intrigued because I did feel a lot for those characters and that story when I read it. I need to be like ready for it, and I might be a little sensitive right now. So I'm not gonna pick this up now, but I might be soon. We'll see. Lastly is the book I'm the most excited to read. Happy Place by Emily Henry. I have read Beach Read, People We Meet on Vacation, and Book Lovers, and I am now reading Happy Place. I am super excited to read this. This is gonna be one of my next reads. I missed the hype, okay? When this book was getting talked about, it was in hardcover and I refused to buy it. Super excited to see if this is going to become one of my favorite Emily Henry books. I just have a feeling it's gonna be. It might be like a second chance. They broke up, haven't told their best friends. They go on vacation. I think they might fake date. I know Beach Read was super emotional because of how deeply I felt for those characters and how deeply I resonated with them. So I fear for myself with this one a little. That's all I read in May, and that's all the books that I want to read in June. That is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please give this video a thumbs up and comment down below, and subscribe if you want to see more of my face and more of my videos, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next one. Bye!